Hey guys, it's Brandon. I wanted to go over a game I just played on the free internet chess server that sort of taught me a lesson, or it sort of illustrates an important lesson, I think, that I could certainly do better with my games, and maybe some of you can too. And that lesson was if you spot a tactic and you work it out, before you play it, look to see if there's anything better along the way. So I'll just start with that. And the game was e4. I was playing black. I've been trying to incorporate the Sicilian into my repertoire a little bit. So I played c5, and we had c4 coming in, the well-known Maroczy bind, where white tries to get a grip on the d5 square and sort of break up any d5 sort of freeing move from, or make it hard for black to get in this d5 freeing move. But it's unusual to be played on the second move. The drawback is that it leaves a giant hole here on d4. So I think that I played knight c6, just stopping an immediate d4, looking for control over d4. Most of my strategy in this game, I can already tell, is going to be revolving around getting a knight here. So he played b3, I played g6, bishop b2, knight f6. Okay, bishop here obviously just loses the bishop. So knight f6 is forced, or I guess you could play f6, but that's not really very good. d3, d6. The opening isn't particularly important. Knight c3, bishop g7, knight b5. Okay, this is a bit of a waste of time. Doesn't look like it accomplishes much. Okay, bishop to g4, pinning the knight. And the point of this move is I'm going to capture this knight. I'll leave it pinned as long as possible, but I'm going to be capturing this knight because it's covering d4, and it's just one piece that's going to be watching over d4 that could exchange itself for a knight that I'm eventually going to put on here. The idea would be to shoot for an ending where I have a nice knight on d4 and he's left with this bad bishop. So like trading these, and trading these pieces, so we'd have this and this left. So I'd have a nice knight that can hop into d4, and his bad bishop will be blocking up against the pawns. So that's the idea in the long run, but the game didn't get that far. h3, so just take it immediately. a6 to kick the knight back, and he played this to this knight a3, this sort of a strange square. And here I spotted a tactic, and the tactic I spotted was knight takes e4, forcing bishop takes g7, king takes g7. Now, if he takes the knight, queen check, hitting the king, forcing it to move because there's nothing to block, and then picking up this knight, winning a pawn. So that was what I saw from this whole variation, and I thought, great, I can win a pawn. He's got some really weak dark squares I can probably sneak in on, and this is how the game actually went. But I had something better that I didn't find over the board, and I didn't even see it until the end of the game, which happens after knight takes e4, bishop takes g7. There's something better, and oh, the computer gave it away immediately. But what's the better move here is, queen to d5 check, or excuse me, queen to a5 check. And the idea is, because of these weak dark squares, the bishop's all the way over here. Even though I'm down a piece, there's no way to stop me. You can't take this knight and this queen are coordinating here on this d7 square. The only thing you can do is just sort of delay it for a few moves, and eventually, the king has to move either here or here, and it's mate. So bishop takes g7 was immediately losing to queen to a5 check. So I had calculated this nice variation here with queen a5 check, picking up the knight, but I did not see that this check was immediately winning before in this variation. So sometimes if you find a good tactic, somewhere along the way you might find something better. And I guess the lesson is, don't just put your head down blindly and go for something that you've seen. So anyway, the game continued for those interested. King d1 takes bishop e2. Now my queen just sort of sneaks in on the dark squares, picking up another pawn, and now he just sort of got desperate with d4 here, check. So for those keeping track, I'm now 4 pawns up in this game, and he has absolutely no play here. So I'm just simplifying into an endgame. This move was just a blunder because of rook to a1 check, just winning the rook. But he was just sort of, given up at this point and not really thinking. So the game finished like this, and then he resigned. Just sort of played this one last check and resigned. So not a very interesting game, but something to keep in mind. If you spot a nice tactic like I did here, knight takes e4, sometimes you calculate something nicely, but there's something better in the position. So keep your eyes open. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.